The Bungie employee sunsetting of 2023 only gets worse as we get responses from the actual CEO. We have Pete Parsons here tweeting out this: "Today is a sad day at Bungie as we say goodbye to colleagues who have all made a significant impact on our studio. What these exceptional individuals have contributed to our games at Bungie culture has been enormous and will continue to be a part of Bungie long into the future. These are truly talented people. If you have openings, I would highly recommend each and every one of them." Now, obviously, the responses to this were not very favorable. The top comment right here saying, "I'm sure your kind words will pay their bills," which ratioed it by more than double the likes. Obviously, people were pretty upset about this. Another commenter showing a person crying while wiping away their tears with money. "I know if I was a former employee of Bungie, the last thing I would want to see is a tweet like this from yourself. It's very tone deaf and feels like a slap in the face to anyone impacted by the layoffs. Why praise them now? Damage is done. You are largely responsible." Which a lot of people were making the comment, which is that you're the CEO, you can hire them. You're the CEO, you technically are probably the ones that maybe let them go in general. To be fair though, we probably don't understand the exact inner workings of the multi-billion-dollar company that is Bungie and the nuance of why there had to be layoffs, but we can at least agree that there have been a ton of layoffs from other studios as well, and that it was kind of like we could kind of see it coming to some degree. Still doesn't make it okay. It doesn't make, especially for the people that were laid off, obviously that sucks. I feel bad for them. Paul Tassi tweets out saying, "The layoff decisions came directly from Bungie management, not Sony. This is not about Sony replacing Bungie employees with their own people," which is something that a lot of people have been speculating and saying that this is Sony's wrongdoing, that Sony messed up here. This is something that we've done for quite some time now. We used to blame Activision back in the day until Bungie became independent. Now, obviously, Bungie has gotten in bed with Sony, and so now when there's trouble, or at least in this case, we like to blame Sony and throw them under the bus, say that it's partly due to their fiscal calendar and stuff like that. I've heard a lot of interesting responses, but Paul is giving a good explanation here, and he has an inside source, I'm imagining. The next part reads, "Many employee benefits, though not health insurance, only last until the end of the month if you're let go. Laying people off on the 30th means a single additional day of coverage." Oh, that's actually dirty. No, they did not do them dirty like that. They did not do them dirty like that. So what he's saying is that just they only get until the end of next month, their health insurance and stuff. I don't know what severance packages they get and stuff like that, if they do get any at all, but I think that, you know, usually in the industry it's become kind of a norm or a standard to some degree. A lot of times it's when companies are acquired from other companies and let go, but a lot of people were worried about being let go when Sony acquired Bungie about a year and a half ago. Fast forward to now, kind of have the effect that people were thinking that would happen. The next point that reads here is, "Many employees had unvested shares as a result of the Sony purchase. These shares would be received based on staying with the company for a certain number of years following the sale, but those shares revert to Bungie if you leave, even if you're fired, which is what's happening now to many of those affected." So you're telling me they had shares in the company and that they lose them by being let go? I'm sure you hire your lawyer and you get that handled to some degree, right? Surely you don't just lose everything because you're let go. This is crazy though. This is from Paul Tassi, who's, you know, he's a very credible source, and, you know, he's usually not trying to spread misinformation or trying to, you know, fan the flames in a negative way. Like, he's a freaking journalist. Now, a lot of that would make some sense, perhaps, in terms of like Salvatore's case. If you don't know, another update to the situation is that Michael Salvatore, the one who composed literally some of the best soundtracks in Destiny 2, we're gonna have a flash of images on the screen here of all the soundtracks that he's made. Literally the best music you've ever heard in Destiny has Michael Salvatore's name on it, and they have been let go. In fact, it even says on their LinkedIn that they've gone fishing, so they're out. Very, very interesting to see them go, especially when they're like, I think a lot of people criticize Bungie, or a lot of people criticize Destiny 2 quite a bit, but we can all agree that the music is good. We can agree everyone likes Deep Stone Lullaby, everyone likes, you know, Taken King soundtrack's pretty good. There's a bunch of good sound. Honestly, you can listen to any of the songs, there's a lot of good ones. A lot of people were really upset about that one particularly, Michael Salvatore, because that's like all the best music came from him. We'll see what happens in the future, you know, we don't know. We still need an update from Bungie here because we still don't have like an article or a post or anything. They've been staying relatively silent. Obviously, you know, Pete Parsons, the CEO, literally makes his post and it comes across crass. It wasn't received well. I think he meant well, but it wasn't received well. And then we have, you know, Joe Blackburn, who's become the big face of Bungie now. You know, he's been live streaming his endeavors in Destiny 2, his battles with the Overlord champions, but he's stayed completely silent. Not one word from him on anything, which is an interesting play from him. You would expect him to say something. I feel like at least most of the employees or most of the developers have said like their condolences to those that were let go, because, you know, these are like your colleagues, people that you would wake up and spend time with a lot, whether you're in the office at the Bungie HQ or whether you're at home. An interesting play for him to be silent at this point in time. Everyone else has kind of spoken up, but we'll see what happens. Obviously, a lot of people ask me what is my opinion on the future of Destiny. It's obviously not looking very good as we stand right now. I know that but it's a sensitive topic. You know, the last thing I do want to say on the topic is that, you know, we talk about it because we're not directly affected by it. We're just players of the game. We're a little, you know, like pawns in the community, essentially, right? We just do little things, like we play the game and we commentate on things, you know, but there's definitely real people's lives that were affected by this, and I genuinely feel bad for them because they got blindsided. They were, you know, waking up, doing their job, doing a good job, whatever it was, and then boom, their job's gone. That definitely sucks. People are going to have their memes and people are going to speak lightheartedly of this. I would never laugh at anyone or anything like that. That's a bit mean, but people are going to say what they're going to say. But ultimately, you know, we should keep a level of sensitivity that, you know, some people's lives are literally upside down right now. And as much as it's for us to commentate and say, ah, Bungie, you're stupid, and ah, Destiny 2 is dead, you know, and all of that, we should also keep in mind that, you know, there's some people who are really adversely affected by this stuff. Keep that in mind. Try to be kind to those, especially to the tons of developers that were let go, developers and employees and everything else. The biggest criticism and the biggest movement that's created now is we see a lot of those people that were let go advocating to unionize the gaming industry. As far as I understand unions, there's obviously probably different per every industry, but the way a union would work is that as you stay longer in the company, you gain seniority and then you have more job security, you know, because I think that probably pretty tough to work for a place for 10 years and then just be let go. Within your department, there's probably people that have worked there for half as long as you or even less. They're not let go, and it's like, wait, why did I get let go? You know, you should have seniority, right? Unions are obviously a lot better for the workers of the respective field, and that's why people are big advocates for unions. Companies hate unions, obviously, though. I did see Paul Tassi's tweet from 10 minutes ago. We covered that. It's a pretty crazy one. So that's where we're at right now. We had P. Parsons update. We had the Paul Tassi update. Had Joe Blackburn not saying anything yet. And Bungie's also been silent on their website. No articles. We had also a previous video where we covered Sony's internal strife, where Sony is struggling right now. There's a lot of layoffs and shifts in management and leadership at Sony. It's a tumultuous time in the gaming industry. It's not just Bungie, though. A lot of the other game studios as well. Once we have more updates, we'll bring them to you. So make sure you subscribe to the channel with notifications on. Smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Later. What do we call it? What is the name of this? We got the crafting event. What do we call this? The Bungie what? What's the name? Salvator was layoff. The Great Layoffing? That doesn't hit very good. We need something better than that. Downfall. We need a name. We need a good name. It's got to stick too, you know? The Purge. The Destiny Purge. Employee sunsetting? Oh no. Not the employee sunsetting. That's messed up. I can't laugh at that. Bro, sunsetting is wild. I think I have to use that now because that's like the most accurate.